All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've been on an AM Power. My name is James Leonhardt. Getting excited for this weekend. If you are in the US, drop some USA love in the chat because we've got July 4th coming up tomorrow, and this delivery, this message, I always pray really hard on what I want to deliver, and I do it over the course of the first few the days leading up to when I'm scheduled to speak. Sometimes I change it last minute, but today I kind of kept to what I was going to speak on, because even though July 4th is coming up, one of the things I've been doing over the past few months is really redefining myself, and what I want to do with my life, and where I want to be going, what I want to be standing for, and all these different things. I've really been diving into a lot of that through a mentorship program I'm involved in. And one of the words that just keeps coming up, and it's kind of one of those overused words as well. But before I say the word, which I think you probably already know what that word is, what I want everyone to do, you don't have to come on camera, but just do a couple things for me. Number one, let's take a breath in together. So on three, we're going to take one deep breath in, and then we're going to breathe out. Ready? I didn't count to three, but hopefully you took a breath. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to look up, look to the left, and look to the right. Up, left, and right. The other thing I want you to do is touch your feet, touch your toes. If you can touch your toes, feel your fingers, tap your body. So why are we doing all these things? Because you have the freedom to actually do it. Freedom is something that is, I think, taken for granted in a lot of different ways. I've traveled all over the world. Whenever I come back to the US of A, I go, wow, we really, freedom is something that is very plentiful here in the United States. And I think sometimes, not all the time, sometimes we in the US of A can take it for granted a little bit, because in some countries you can't breathe. In some countries you can't look to the left, you can't look to the right. Some countries you can't talk about your beliefs or your values. You're not allowed to. And so one of the things that I did leading up to this, I don't think there's no coincidence is not a word that is found in the Bible anywhere. So I don't think there is no such thing as coincidences. Everything is done for a purpose. But I was kind of scrolling, and I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. But I found a show called The Great Awakening. It's a movie about Benjamin Franklin, and actually talks about how the real Declaration of Independence came about and what happened before the Declaration of Independence was written. And I think because as Americans, we don't need to take tests, and we don't need to become legal and go through the process and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, people that are coming into this country that have to go through that process, they learn about things that most Americans might never know about, and what our country was actually built upon. No matter what your religious views are or your political views, Democrat, Republican, this religion, that religion, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter, because if you live in the United States, you're living in a country that was built on very foundational principles about freedom, and what that freedom actually means, and what it does, what you have the right to, right? We talk about all these rights that we have as Americans, and really what I want to talk about today, and I kind of boiled it down, and I have a couple of bots and AI bots that I talk all the time, and it's learning me way too much. And so I have these discussions that are pretty heavy, pretty lately, and ask it, what is the core? If we look at, where did the Declaration of Independence come from? This idea of freedom, And then I asked him, we talked a little bit about, is that rooted in biblical truth somehow? Like, how does this all fit together? Because that's where this show, the Great Awakening, came from, is the idea of what it was actually built upon. And so, the idea of the Declaration of Independence and freedom, again, no matter what your religious beliefs are or your political affiliations, I'm not here to judge or tell which way is which way. I'm going off of truth. Because here's what America was founded on. It was founded on, and again, I'm gonna get somewhere with this. So just stay with me. If you're not an expert on the Bible like me, I'm not an expert on the Bible either. We're not going to go preachy on you, but just stay with me because I want to bring this concept home to you. America was founded on the belief that freedom is a gift. We're going to put that in circle, highlight, underline, bold, italic, a gift from God. Scripture teaches that freedom is also a responsibility. Freedom isn't just something we receive, it's something we steward and help others experience. That is what there's the whole line and the whole concept of how the Declaration of Independence came to be and what it was built upon. It's still why before every time they do something in Congress, they open in prayer. There's a reason for that. It's because it's actually written into our bylaws. So, what I want to talk about today is this idea of what freedom is and how it's a gift, and how we can steward it maybe a little bit better. So, there's five foundations of freedom, and I dug into it because I really want to see what is these. And what I want you to do, if you're taking notes at all, really quickly, just write down these five words because these five words I think will allow you to kind of follow along as we talk today, and then have something to go back with and go, how am I doing this in my life? So the five words I want you to write down, if you can, if you're driving and you don't have a notepad, that's okay. But the five words are choose, plant, release, serve, and multiply. Because multiply is the end goal here. It actually is how our business works too. Multiplication is how we don't work on a duplication business. We actually work in a multiplication business. But here's the truth about freedom. So, foundation number one. This is probably the biggest thing I think if you meet anybody in our industry and they go, what's the secret to your success? It's not a script, it's not a video, it's not a company, it's not a comp plan, it's not a product. Really, what it comes down to, at least what I have found from a lot of people in this industry, people that have earned multiple hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes, is it all comes down to having faith over fear. And that also might be kind of one of those concepts you hear all the time that's fleeting. You're like, what does that actually mean? Like faith over fear. Don't we all have fear? And I think one of the things that I found, because even myself, I used to very much dislike public speaking. You would never find me on a Zoom. I would throw up every time I'd get on stage. I'd get sick every time before I get on the stage. I am an introvert. I've learned how to be extroverted. No one ever believes I'm an introvert, but I am. I can put on the extrovert when I need to. But what I learned from people, again, it wasn't skills, it was this idea of overcoming when fear comes up to push through it because fear actually never goes away. It's actually something God put in us, the fear of God, right? This idea of fear and the ones that push through it are the ones that create a testimony. They're the ones that go, hey, let's talk about like a health journey, right? Let's say somebody wants to lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds or whatever it is, or even 10 pounds. And they go and they make a decision to go, I'm going to push through whatever it takes to go lose this weight. Well, now they have a testimony that they can share with other people that might have a fear of how am I going to do this? I'm scared to, put a goal out there because your testimony is for other people. It's not for you. And the first step to going through that and creating a testimony, whether it's weight loss, whether it's business, whatever it is, faith, it's always about going through fear first. And so I'm a factual person too. I'm a green personality, depending on what color code you look at. But I'm a very factual person. Like I have a lot of belief and faith, but I always like to know maybe there's a little substantiation to this faith and belief. And one of the things I asked it, I was like, hey, let's substantiate this in a way. Go find me some proof that we should not fear. And it's a crazy thing. Go to scripture, and there's the idea of do not fear is written 365 times. And so it's one for every year. I've been with this company for 458 days. So every day you're going to overcome a fear. It's not something you can get away from. Because if you look at what fear asks you, like when you want to go do something, the question that usually comes up for most people is, what if I fail? What if I fail? What's going to happen? How am I going to feel? What are people going to think of me if I fail? What freedom asks is, what if I never try? Way early in my career, one of my early mentors really ingrained a few things into me. One of the things he said is, if you never go, you'll never know. So, like for an event, if you want to go to an event or if you go meet somebody, you're never, if you don't do it, you're not going to know if something would come out of it. You just would never know. And so this idea of, what if you get to decide if you listen to fear or if you listen to freedom. Because freedom grows through what I would call courageous obedience. This idea of, yes, it's going to come. If you've ever had fear before, just put fear in the chat. Don't be afraid to put fear. Because the first thing about fear is knowing that it is a real thing, and you, because everything is possible, you have the ability to go through that fear. It's not something like what was put in you wasn't fear. What was put in you was faith. Fear comes from something else. We won't go down that road, but fear comes from something else. You were implanted with faith. And so, again, this first foundation of how do I get after freedom? It's not a skill, it's not a script, it's not anything. It's how do you get through this fear first? Like even going for no. Like people go, oh, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't like your product. No, I don't. No, 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 no. All this stuff. That's all just fear. You just got to go through it. Foundation number two is probably one of the first things of scripture that someone actually taught me eons ago. I had no idea what it meant. It was actually taught to me through Jim Rohn. If you're a Jim Rohn fan, throw Rohn in the chat. Jim Rohn is my man. But Jim Rohn talks about this idea of the sower. Foundation number two is plant seeds, trust the harvest. So our goal, as people that are out there talking to other people, is simply to plant the seed and create opportunities. Like if you think of what the founding fathers did back before the Declaration of Independence was written, they made some risks. They said, okay, we think if we do this, this is what could happen. But they didn't really think about what would happen today. They were thinking about what's going to happen in the harvest. Because even some of the movies that I watched, the other movie I watched was the Mel Gibson movie. That was another movie that I watched in preparation for this. And it was called The Patriot. And this idea of like, hey, we're going to write this Declaration of Independence. It's going to rip our country apart. Literally, it's going to rip it apart. You're going to have mothers going against fathers. You're going to have families against families. That's just what's going to happen. But we think if we do this, there could be a ridiculous harvest for us to go through because your job is not, again, to wish and hope and pray for a harvest. The idea here is that you're wishing and hoping and praying to plant more seeds. Foundation number two is all about planting seeds. And we're going to kind of circle this back about at the end here too. Foundation number three, remember those words we wrote down in the beginning? That first word we wrote down was choose, faith over fear. Number two was plant plant seeds, trust the harvest. Number three is release what you cannot control. Another huge thing that I think would be a commonality between every single person I've ever met, no matter what industry they're in, what they did to get success. Again, not a script, not a product, not a comp plan. It was about releasing what you cannot control. Kind of like planting the seeds. You can only control what you plant. You can't control the sun and the wind and the water. You can only plant to get that harvest. Here it's about like in the now, releasing what you cannot control. Because when the Declaration of Independence was signed and they were done, after everyone signed that, this is another movie I watched, nobody knew what the outcome was going to be. Victory wasn't guaranteed, control was impossible, faith was necessary. Nothing was for certain except what they were doing at that point in time. And so, one of the things I've done many, many times, it's one of the things that control has been something that I've always attempted to release on a constant basis. I'm always trying to shed control and you could talk about this being humble, being in the background, not caring if other people get credit for what you're doing. Because as you think about the obedience that you're doing and how you are releasing things and releasing this control, one of the things I've done in the past is I've made kind of a T chart. If you ever made a T chart before, and you go mine and not mine. The only thing you actually control, it's not the people in your business, it's not your upline, it's not the executive team, it's not your new customer, it's not your new affiliate, it's nothing. Here's the only thing is you can control. Only things: your effort, your attitude, your consistency, and your integrity. Now, there could be other things maybe sprinkled in there, but if you really boil it down, those are the four things that you can say every single day. Am I controlling these things? Or am I trying to control other people's opinions, their timing? When do they want to get started? It's one of my favorite things to say because, again, your timing is not their timing. So, yes, you start talking to people and you're like, man, man, Phil, he's going to get started today. He's going to crush it. Maybe it's not Philip's timing, but in 6 months from now, maybe it's Philip's timing. I can't control that. And so people might get upset and like, oh, they said no now, or they said no 9,000 times. Do you know how many times I've been ghosted? Ghosted, right? I've been ghosted, I don't know, a billion times, when somebody goes or an idea is stolen from me. I go, I made a graphic and then somebody else has a graphic. I'd be richer and more wealthy than Mr. Bezos or Mr. Who's the new trillionaire? I always forget his name. But again, all these different things, we need to release them because we can't control them. So opinions, timings, other people's decisions, other people's commitments, that's a hard one to let go of, right? If you want a stronger relationship or you want something, instead of praying for that person to have commitment and praying for that person to make the right decision and praying for that person to have the right timing, think about what you need. Who's the person you need to become to fill that or for that person to come to you? What is that? Because again, you want to own those first two things: effort, attitude, consistency, integrity, and release those other things. So we got two more. We're coming out down to a landing here. Number four foundation, which I can't say it's one of my favorites, but it is up there. These are probably all my favorites. The number five is my favorite, but number four is leading through service. The service or serve was the other word we wrote down for foundation number four. And this is really where it comes down to, that's why I believe this industry that we're a part of is so in line and in tune with who we are and who God designed us to be on this planet while we're here. Because in this business, yes, you can make money by selling. You can sell products, you can all these different things. But the way that you go get to greatness or the way that you go and get to freedom will never be by yourself. And it's a book that I read a long time ago. I still battle with it all the time. No man is an island. Maybe I should go read that again. Because one of the things about this industry, and just as a whole, as a human race, the way that you get to greatness is by service to others. Like one of my favorite visuals that I have all the time, and I keep meaning I want to get a canvas of it, is when Jesus washed the feet of all his disciples. Like that is the way that you need to be looking at the people that you are enrolling and sponsoring with that idea that you are there to serve them where they are. Again, back to the timing thing, not where you want them to be. Because the more you need something from people, the less free you become. The more you seek to serve people, the freer you become. So if you're out there going, ah, man, I need them to make a sale. They got to hit a rank and blah, all this kind of stuff, versus going to somebody and say, hey, how can I help? What can I do? I just release everything. Not, hey, V, how are we going to get you to the next rank, bro? Listen, you don't get to go home to the Father with your rank. It just doesn't happen. I want to go, no, V, what do you need? How can I help? How can I support you? What can I pray for it? What do you need from me? That's how you want to go after people, not what are they going to do for you, but what can you do for them? How can I make this person's life better? Even the way that I reach out to people when I'm prospecting, I don't reach out to somebody and go, oh my gosh, hey, David, I'd love to show you this new business and these awesome products. I go, David, hey, what's going on in your life, man? Anything new and exciting going on? Anything I pray for? Anything I can support? What's going on, bro? That's how I recruit. That's my script. So if anybody goes, "What's your magical script?" I just gave all my secrets away, but that's my script because it's literally just like, "Hey, what can I do for you?" Not like, oh, let me go into my boards app and find the secret script that David. Once he hears it, he's just like the fireworks are going to go off, and he's going to go, "Oh my gosh, James, I've been waiting for you to say that to me." It doesn't exist. Does not exist. Go out in service because if you don't go out in service, you'll end up in servitude. Uh, no whole nother topic we could talk about in some time. So number five, all right, number five is my favorite because when I've been in this industry for about almost 29 years. And I've been, I've earned millions of dollars. I've, been on the corporate side. I've owned a branding and marketing agency. You name it, I've seen it. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, all in between, and had lots of different mentors throughout that time. And one of the things that was taught to me at an early age in my career was this idea of duplication. And I really took it to heart. Like, all right, how do I become the person that other people want to duplicate and all this kind of stuff? And I might ruffle some feathers. I think duplication is a small way of thinking, because duplication is me to you, and then you to them, and them to them, and da, 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 da. What I'm going to challenge you with today, and this is what the founding fathers talked about, Declaration of Independence, all these different things, is that freedom is never meant to stop with us. And it isn't meant to just be duplicated. It's not meant for one to one, one to one. The idea here is that you're looking to become a leader and then raise other leaders. But the way that you do that is through multiplication, not even duplication. And here's the thing, too, with multiplication, I can utilize other people because when you get started in this industry or any industry, doesn't matter what industry we're talking about, when you get started in industry, you know nothing. And that's actually where you want to stay. I think a lot of people will come to this industry and they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna become an expert on the products or the scanner or the comp plan. I'm gonna be able to do it sideways and up. Listen, I still can't pronounce 80% of our products. I take them, still can't pronounce them. Could I tell you what's in a product? No, I unless I read it off the bag. That's pretty much the only thing I can do. I do like the scriptures on the bottom of the bag. I like that. That's cool. All I know is the products work, and I take them. The other thing on the compensation plan, this was a huge thing for me because I was always the comp plan guy, the guy that would know the comp plan. And I still am to a certain extent because I like to build simple systems. But one of a mentor not too long ago, probably like 5, 6 years ago, and it actually came from a CD I was listening to, or a recording of a CD on YouTube. And one of the things it said, I think it was this guy maybe from Amway, was that if you're an expert on the comp plan, you'll never earn any money. Wait a minute. If you're an expert on the comp plan, why would you never earn any money? Because you're too focused on how versus the why. And here's the thing, if you want to know how the comp plan works, just start getting paid from it. Because if you start taking action and you enroll people and they do stuff, and all of a sudden this money starts coming in, and somebody comes to you and they go, James, how does this comp plan work? Go refer somebody and then we'll talk about it. No, no, no. Like, like, what's the percentage on level 42 versus 3? And what's this binary? None of that matters until you make money. Then you can learn all the ins and outs of it. Because again, you want to multiply your efforts. You want other people to go, wait a minute, I could do that. That's easy. Let me go expose it to more people. Because our mission isn't simply to build a business. Our mission is to create healthier people, stronger families, greater opportunity, more hope, and more freedom. It's not to sell a product. It's not to recruit somebody. It's actually to help somebody get more freedom, whether it's freedom in their health, freedom in their business, freedom in their life, is to experience more freedom. It's why I feel, I know we've got some people from Europe on here. It's why I feel that other countries outside the United States, and I might ruffle some feathers again, some countries outside the United States do much better at this industry because they understand that they actually don't have a lot of what we have here. And they're like, wait a minute, if this company can create freedom for me in my country, oh my gosh, a little bit of our freedom here in the United States is goes a huge way in places that don't have freedom. For you to be able to go and teach somebody how to make $500 a month in the United States, people go, I could do Uber. I could do that with on YouTube. I could LinkedIn it. I could get on TikTok and dance and make that money. Wonderful. You can do that in the United States. You can't do that in Kazakhstan. You can't do that anywhere else. You can't do that in South Africa, in Nigeria, right? So don't take for granted this massive amount of freedom that you have on your in your hands and protect it from other people. Because here's the freedom formula if you want to talk about what does this look like? Whose freedom can I improve today? How do I do this? What's the formula for it? And it's what we talked about in the very beginning. Number one, choose faith over fear. Plant seeds every single day and prepare for the harvest. Release control, serve people, and then multiply freedom. And look at what you're doing every single day. Are those things happening? Whether that's in your family life, whether it's in your business, whether that's in your faith, whatever it is, are you doing these things on a daily basis? Are you checking these marks off? Because yes, you can check off, I talked to 5 people today. I did this, I did that. I can check off all that stuff. But if you focus on these things, choose faith, plant seeds, release control, serve people, multiply freedom, not only are you going to grow a business, you're going to grow yourself. And so I think it's fitting that we celebrate this message on Independence Day weekend, right? As we go into this, it's 250 years of a group of ordinary people, just like everyone on this call, that believed freedom was worth sacrificing for. Because freedom was set from the very beginning, not by man, but by God. And that freedom isn't just the absence of oppression, it's the presence of purpose. So, what is your purpose? If you're going after freedom, what does that actually mean to you? Is it freedom of time? Because again, listen, I've had the millions, I've lost the millions, I've had the millions again. Money doesn't do it for you. If you don't have a purpose, money becomes obsolete. Money is simply only a megaphone of who you are when it comes in. So if you want to do something and have that purpose, make sure that you understand what freedom means to you and it's not just a number. The commitment to help others experience the same freedom is what we've been given. And that's what I want to end on is the idea of this multiplication is that, the idea that you have this gift that you can give to other people. Now, some people might take that gift like that. Some people might push the gift away. Some people might chase the gift. Some people might run away from the gift. But here's the one thing that never changes. You still have the gift. Whether they take it now, take it later, never take it, it doesn't matter. God gave you that gift of freedom, gave that gift of choice, gave you that gift that it's yours. If someone else chooses to not take it, does that change what you were given? No. So again, as we go through what we went through today, as you choose faith over fear, plant seeds daily, release what you can control, and serve people first, it all comes down to these are preparing you to multiply freedom. Because when we all leave this earth, and it will be at some point, trust me, no one's going to live forever. It's not how this works. You get to only leave with certain things, pretty much nothing. But most of the things that people are going after on this earth, money, fame, significance, they're all trying to go after this stuff. You don't get to go with that. What you do get to go with is what you've done here, the freedom you've given to other people. And that could be freedom from all different walks of life. One of the things I did, I got involved with a nonprofit that releases people in Pakistan from slavery. It's insane that people are in slavery in this world and 500, 600, $700 can release a family from slavery. It is literally insane to me, but it still exists in this world. If you make your mission, I would please make your mission today, moving forward, that you know what freedom means to you, and then you can go give that freedom to other people. If you don't know what freedom is to you today, I would highly encourage you to seek inward, pray about it, and go, what does this mean? And write it down. And then when somebody comes to you and asks, what do you do? You can say to them, I help other people create more freedom in their life. That's what I've settled on. People ask me all the time now, what do you do? What's your business? What's your work? Because I'm traveling all over the place now. So I go, what do you do? I go, I help people get more freedom in their life. What does that mean? That's a great conversation. Let's have a talk about it another time. That's my answer to what do I do. And that's really what everyone on this Zoom does. If you're watching a replay or whatever it is, here what I would love for you to do is put freedom in the chat if you can decide today that you walk forward as you're a multiplier of freedom. You're not a recruiter. You're not a salesperson. You don't sell vitamins. You don't know a comp plan. You go out there and through this weekend and on, after for the next 250 years, go out there and sow freedom and see what happens, see what comes back. So I hope this was a helpful message for you today. It's something I've been preparing for a little while. As soon as I saw there was an opening on July 3rd, I was like, that's a good time to do this message, and we'll see how it goes over. So again, I'm going to leave you with this as we come to a close. Always be thinking, is today the day that I choose faith or fear? Is today the day that I choose to plant seeds or focus on the harvest? Is today the day I release control or hold on to it? Is today the day I serve people or I'm in servitude? Maybe we'll do another one on that. The last thing is today the day that I multiply freedom or keep it to myself? And I'll close with this. I guarantee today is the day. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we will see you on Vital Academy. We will see you on AM Power. We will see you on all the amazing calls that we do throughout the week. Thank you so much for everybody showing up today. Have a wonderful weekend.
Come
And
on,
talk to you
James.
soon.
Come on,
Excellent,
James.
That
excellent.
was
Oh,
so
that was
good,
awesome,
James.
Excellent
That was
James.
call,
so
James.
excellent,
Thank
Excellent,
you.
James.
James. This
Excellent.
was
Excellent.
great,
Excellent.
James.
Thank you,
We really
James.
need to
Thank
hear this
you.
more
James.
High
calls.
Your
five.
timing
Thank
effort,
Real.
you.
Keep
James.
calm, brother.
God bless
Easy.
everybody.
Fun.
Wonderful
Freedom,
weekend.
not fear.
It's a
Amazing.
blessings,
We need
everybody.
some
Thank
fun
you.
Choose
and
faith.
I'm a freedom
laughter.
Choose faith.
multiplier.
Every
Thank you.
mother. Because we are
Yes, you
children.
are.
Everyone have a blessed
Thank
day. It's been a
you.
great
Do what we
working
do
this
at
out.
AM
Great job,
Power.
James.
Yeah.